everybody, and welcome to tonight's indoor adventure in the Four Keeps, Abyss, Part 1. Today is September 12th, 2022, and you are loved. That is a very important thing that we like to remind each and every single one of our viewers and listeners at the beginning of each and every single one of these games. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, or you can go towards anywhere audio casts are being made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can check up on our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So do you have any questions for myself or any of these other fine folk? Feel free to, again, join us at patreon.com/indooradventures. But let's say you already support us on Patreon, you already support us on YouTube and Twitch and all of those other wonderful places, and you're trying to think to yourself, where can I go to help support this fantastic show even more? Well, guess what, Acorns? We got your back. Quite literally, in fact, because if you go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, we got t-shirts, we got posters, we got mugs, we got crop tops, throw pillows, shower curtains, aprons, clocks. We even got face masks. We got face masks with the symbol of Tiamat upon them, designed by our very own Cyberwolf1201, where all of the proceeds of our merch currently is going to help support Doctors Without Borders. So if you would like to help support a good cause and possibly keep yourself warm, you can again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. That is indooradventure, no S at the end, .redbubble.com. But that is it for my opening spiel. So hey, LB, who are you playing today? RJ6.
I'm first tonight. I'm LBHackEmUp. You can find me at LBHackEmUp on the Twitters and the Twitches. I will be playing Gwen, the Halfling Barbarian Fighter. We both go by she, her.
Ahoy, I'm Cyber. I use he or whatever pronouns. I play Arjhan. Arjhan is a dragon right now.
Oh, yeah.
Hey everybody, I'm Wings, also known as Danae Keener, she, her. I'm going to be playing as Cori, the Eldritch Paladin, she, they, and he.
And I am the Indoor Adventurer, he, him, and tonight I shall be your Dungeon Master. So, it's been a few weeks since we last played. Let's do a little bit of a recap. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure that we left things, like, not on any sort of dangerous thread or precipice at all. So, last time we played, your group had finally managed to get Arjhan's amazing apparatus, this rather incredible looking metallic dragon that you were able to then pilot and go under the water, one might say beneath the waves in, where you then descended to the sea floor, where you knew to be the residing place of the Caelum Empire. This very ancient, almost mythical kind of empire that no longer exists to this day, at least as far as many of the surface dwellers are aware, as it again is at the bottom of a sea. Now, once you were there, you were going treasure hunting because there was a specific item that you were looking for, a weapon that had been forged with the purpose of being used for the greatest emperor of the Caelum. However, it has remained empty, which was going to make it perfect for what your plan to eventually house Caius would lead to. Now, when you were on the seafloor, you ended up encountering a bunch of glowing fish. Nature is bioluminescent. That part isn't necessarily scary. The fact that the fish all had their brains exposed and the brain was glowing, now that part was a little bit not as fun for the party. Fun for me, though. It was at that point that you also encountered celiphids, which are these sort of I want to call them underwater mind flayers, as they are octopods that had kind of gained these abilities similar to the illithid, but it looks like they had adapted to a more aquatic climate. And speaking of things that had adapted to an aquatic climate, that was when you all had met Skarlazan, the Leviathan, a kraken that had been taken over by an elder brain. And that battle was tough. It was hard. It was a difficult time. Arjhan, you turned into a dragon, summoned your own self as a dragon, had that dragon go off and look for treasure while you maintained concentration and tried to fight like hell against this thing. Caelum also turned into a dragon for like 5 seconds, probably less than, and then later got swallowed as a clay golem where he was just doing some work on the insides of this large beast. But really, where we see the most in terms of damage and play, of course, our very own Gwen, who is able to cleave an elder brain in half that was exposed on the top of this kraken, but not before the kraken was able to unleash a briny breath, causing our very own Coriander to drop, having been coated in these black-end tadpoles. And Arjhan, you had also been gotted by these rather gnarly-looking black tadpoles. And that is where we last left off, was the battle had just finished. Had just cleaned up. While all of this is happening, again, Caelum is currently inside of this beast as it begins to like sink onto the seafloor and just with a thunderous, like, well, thunder, but like underwater, so just a very loud sound. But yes, Cori, you are currently at 0. And then, of course, we also have Arjhan and Gwen.
I am also here. Hello.
Yes.
If I assume whenever Gwen deals the finishing blow, like the tentacles around us loosen.
They have lessened, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no like rigor mortis grip that's set in. You are once more free and able to swim about.
I mean, I have Arjhan is of 2 minds right now. 3 because he's also maintaining his other self. But I want to. I think I have my bag of holding on one of my arms. I had my bag of holding and my
in your chalice, yeah.
And my vessel. Okay. I need to get a healing potion to try and get into Cori. That's one of the things. But if Gwen isn't going to try and get Caelum out of the Kraken, that's going to be Arjhan's priority.
Gwen's gonna go get Caelum.
Okay.
I think there's a moment where she is just like on top of this thing, like having just defeated it, and then like the rage calms down for a second. Oh shit! And she goes and like opens the maw of this thing.
Yeah, and you, as we had last left Caelum as well, he was in clay golem form. So Gwen, as you're like holding the mouth open, you're just seeing seeing the ripples of movement until eventually like there's like a clay hand that comes up from the back of this thing's throat as a golem just crawls out and then like waves at you.
Gwen is like putting her hands up, but I think I summoned Salamarn.
Yeah.
Salamarn is actually physically holding it up around her.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to kick you.
And then I would say at this point, Caelum, now free from the mouth, drops the clay golem polymorph that they had on himself. And like looks at you and just asks, did we win?
Yeah. Fucking murdered that thing. I put my axe in its brain.
He has like a little bit of just like, you can see that there's like, he always gets that like pensive frown, but he nods and he's like, nice. Like it's more of like a look of like, you did it, kid. And then he like looks out to see how everyone else is doing about the fight, and then notices still Dragon Arjhan, who is assisting Cori at this point.
Trying to reach into the bag that's on his arm.
Yeah, Caelum will
get out a tiny potion.
Baby.
Caelum will assist you on this, so that way it's not like you're trying to like drop or feed a kitten kind of thing.
I mean, that's what Arjhan was gonna do while Gwen was going down.
Sweet.
So
okay, so yeah, you were able to get out that health potion. You were able to feed it to Cori. no issue. So roll them their Healy dice.
2d4 plus 2.
Okay.
Cori.
Okay.
What's that?
Hmm?
Okay. Sorry, I thought Cori was saying something. I was offering for them to roll, but
Oh, I'm sorry. I never roll. I
5.
never roll potions that people give me. I hardly even use them. Did you roll it? What was it?
5.
5 total?
Yes.
Oh boy, oh boy. All right. Last time we played, I was told to remember a number, and that is very hard for me, but I fucking did it. So the number is 52?
Yes.
4.
54. It's 54.
54.
Exactly.
Okay, so you are still at 54. However, or the number is still 54. Sorry, but Arjhan, you were still infested with the blackworm, with the tadpoles.
Yeah.
And Cori, you are also, again, still infested with said tadpoles. You will be it is a set of damage at the start of your turn.
Okay.
So
that was my turn.
Yeah. So you will take 3d10 psychic damage. So that is 20 points of psychic damage.
Okay. Do I get to make a save?
Let me see. Yep. Saving throw at the end of your turn.
And what kind of save is that?
This is a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Legendary resistance.
Okay. Okay, yeah. You have saved through there.
He just like barfs up all these tadpoles.
Okay. Yeah, and Cori, you do have health points, but you can still feel like there is something inherently wrong in you.
All right. So I do regain consciousness.
I would say yes for this. Because it doesn't say that you that you stay unconscious until otherwise until the effect ends or anything like that. So there's just stuff happening in the background. No worries.
All right. This is going to be my
One
problem.
fear.
Fuck. Cori startles back to wakefulness, just looking around, ready to fight.
He's
And Cori, there is just large
it's
dragon
just
Arjhan.
Tarlayan.
Yeah.
Gwen, Caelum, everybody.
Hello.
I didn't mean it. I was charmed, I promise.
Can you be charmed?
I didn't think so.
Huh. He was very compelling. Tried to get in my mind too, but mine's like a trap. Plus, there's a lot of people in there, so.
I don't think I've ever been charmed before. I rather don't like it.
I find you very charming.
No, Gwen.
Hold on. hold on to me. And Arjhan will start swaying at 80 feet.
Yeah.
Back
Super
to
All of us?
Yeah, back to our ship. I am very big.
Yeah, and by the time that you get to where your ship is, you can see that unless you have released concentration on the Bloodlord or dismissed them. Yep, no, there is a smaller spectral version of you that, looking at you, they are so, you can tell, the Bloodlord is like, wow, that's what I'll be, and they compliment you as well on having taken a new form.
I go get in the ship. I'll be there in a minute.
Where are you going?
Okay.
I'm too big to fit into the ship,
Okay.
and I'm not making this go on. I have to wait until this wears off.
You didn't do this?
I did this, but I'm not maintaining concentration on this. I can't dismiss this.
Do you need
Can
help?
you need to speak a little bit quieter? Your vocal cords are a lot bigger now.
Caelum would offer to dispel, if you would prefer.
I don't.
Okay.
I will get in the back and push. Or, you mentioned that there was a familiar looking ship.
Familiar looking ship. The ship that was familiar to Gwen. As far as having been able to identify it as a whole. Otherwise, there were, or I guess they would be familiar in that you had spent time in the Astral Sea, and you're noticing that quite a few of these vessels that are kind of like crashed and destroyed around here look very similar to the to those Githyanki ships that you had seen previously.
That Gwen had seen previously?
Not Gwen.
That...
Well, I mean,
okay.
Gwen, yes, because you were also in the Astral Sea. Like, when you guys had been rescuing Caelum, you had spent time...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of the ships that are actually littered around here look very reminiscent of those, if not an older model.
Dang. Cori, are you okay? Can I go explore with Arjhan?
I think so. No, actually, probably not. There's something wrong.
What's wrong?
I don't know.
Is it a magic thing, or can I cut it out of you?
I mean, if it was the same thing that I got, then yeah. There were very, very many tadpoles that were.
Right.
Cori lays on hands.
Okay. How much are you laying on hands for?
5 points.
Okay.
That's supposed to heal any disease.
Okay, let me just check here. Okay. Does it end a curse?
No. Not in any way, shape, or form.
Then you still feel the yuck.
There's something very wrong. I'm not supposed to be able to get sick.
That's a big day for you. There's a lot of firsts.
I don't think I'll be going under the ocean again.
Were those the same things that the gift were after? We may need to. They might know a little bit more than we do.
Anyone up there know anything about these tadpoles?
Who are you messaging?
All of my... No, I'm talking to
Oh,
people in my brain.
all of the... I thought you were using like a sending. I was like, what did you
Like,
do?
who are you talking to?
You, Simon, I was talking to
just
you.
the voices in her head.
Yeah, all 5
More
billion
likely
of
than
them.
you think. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Have you played Baldur's Gate 3? It's more likely than you think.
Yes, I have. I got yeeted off of a cliff. It was great.
They are not aware, it seems, of anything relating to this.
Yeah, I got nothing, guys.
Yeah, like
Can
what you see, like it's Grayskull being like, so you're saying she got by black worms? No, I think I know what this is. There was that guy, right? That like Caius thing that you're all after.
Right? Yeah. Oh.
Oh, is it like that?
Is it Caius?
I don't know.
This wasn't Caius. I don't think this was Caius.
Oh,
Was this
okay.
Caius
I
then?
don't fucking know.
Different worms.
Am I strong enough to pick up a boat?
Yeah, I would say yeah.
To pick up one of the ships.
Yeah, you're also underwater. It's not too difficult.
You cannot carry it up.
To the surface?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever they're piling the apparatus back up, I want to move. I want to try to move this. I have an hour
Yeah.
of being a dragon. I assume I have Bloodlord as well.
Yeah. No, like, together the two of you are able to take care of this, no problem. So yeah, if you want, just...
And if Bloodlord found anything else shiny that he wanted, I know he's been piling up the apparatus for that whole combat.
Yeah. He explains that while he was initially looking for weapons, he did find he was able to kind of like smell out other magical things, things that might be of use. And you will find in the pile of things that he has gotten an ancient-looking book, a ring that has like several little faceted mirrors upon it, but looking into them, it looks like they are almost like they almost kind of go into a galaxy in and of themselves. And then he is also there's like a ancient and fantastical looking to most of you a stick. However, Caelum would recognize this as a wand and is very excited about it. But yeah, you managed to find that. And other than that, the Bloodlord also says that or he would at least bring up the idea that with all of the ships that are here, with all of the items that they've been able to find, he assumes that there would be a surplus of coinage, whether depending on the vintage, but there would probably be quite sizable amounts of gold down here.
I mean, I've only got an hour left on the transformation, so
yep,
I'm just picking up a ship. If he ducks into somewhere and gets some coins, great. If not, he's going to help me push the boat.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he'll help you carry the boat, I think, is going to be more useful. Tim, at least like to get it up to the surface, because it is several thousand feet of water to actually get it up there, and then breaking surface tension will also be a little difficult, but you will be able to help. And how long is the dragon spirit for?
I thought it was an hour.
Like one of those 10-minute cast times?
Concentration up to an hour.
Okay,
so,
yeah. Then he's definitely
he'll disappear a few minutes before I'll turn back.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. While underwater, one thing that Caelum had wanted to do was to effectively find a place to leave Hiram, the spirit inside of the spear. That is something that they had talked about previously, where Hiram had a previous love in their life and didn't really have much else to do on the surface, and Caelum would had wished that they would be able to at least bury them to a degree next to the one that they loved. So there will be a little like side bit to just kind of go around, deposit spear in that place. And I would say that after depositing and then on the way back up in the apparatus as well, Caelum as a whole has a more, like, he's always been very much a sword wizard for the most part, but you can tell that his time with Hiram has affected him in a way, as our boy took a level in fighter for level 19.
I mean, that's my thing, but that's okay.
It's fine.
That
it's
was
cool.
my thing for like 4 seasons.
Yeah, well.
Okay, so, but that is all that had been needing to be done. The other thing that you will also notice is that the maelstrom as a whole did not dissipate with the defeat of the Kraken. That just seems to still be going on in the background. If you would like to investigate it, you can. Otherwise, get the fuck out of this ocean. This place sucks. Let's just go. Swim.
Is there anything else we needed down here?
No.
Is there anything that Salamarn wants to?
This isn't Salamarn's home. She just fucking hated the Kraken.
Okay.
Yeah, she just wanted it dead.
Okay. I will take a piece of it. It doesn't have. It has a beak.
It had a large maw with many teeth inside.
I'll take one of the teeth.
Okay.
Put it in my carriage.
Sounds good. Trophy, the spoils. Yep, you're able to do that. No worries, no issue.
Caelum on the ride back. You may want to contact one of our Gith friends or Rasa and explain what happened to Cori and I.
Caelum will, and he will use one of his sendings. And the response that he gets back, you can see, does cause him a little bit of alarm. And he says, I think, if anything, he looks at Cori and asks, do you have your lay on hands? Are you still able to... you would need a sizable amount.
How much exactly?
On a scale of 1 to 100, you'd be looking at about 40%.
So 40?
40 points of healing, yeah.
I can do that?
That should cure you.
Well, if that's it.
Arjhan can also Greater Restoration, because that does remove curses, but I cannot cast spells while I am a dragon.
It's what, like just 40 lay on hands? That's it? That's all we need?
So, if the creature
40
is
points of
targeted
lay
by
on hands?
magic that ends a curse or restores 40 hit points or more, those are the stipulations for getting rid of it.
Well, okay then. I'm gonna lay on hands myself, and then I'm gonna lay on hands Arjhan.
He's already been cured.
I assume that happened while you were piloting the boat, and I'm outside pushing another one.
Several, and I still have 10 to spare, y'all. I almost said baby again. I don't know what is inside me.
I am not baby. I want power.
I know. Nobody is baby.
Caelum
If
was.
anyone is baby, is me.
Okay, so thankfully got all that taken care of. Great.
Glad I
Returning.
worried about that for weeks.
Yeah, so Caelum informs you. And he does so with like the bedside manner of a medical professional, where it's not like he's trying to cause alarm or anything, but if you had not taken care of that issue within the time frame, you would have turned into one of those things, which would be bad, to say the least. It would also be very interesting because normally the creatures, after they turn, are connected to the Elder Brain, but the Elder Brain had been defeated. So you would have been a like rogue element, illithid as well. It would have been a thing. It would have been a whole time, but again,
That sounds like an incredible character concept, but it's not really within my aesthetic.
not this time around. See you in season 3, folks. So Arjhan, you and the Bloodlord managed to bring up this old sunken ship to the surface. Olivia and crew have just sort of been like waiting to hear anything, any word from y'all. So like seeing this dragon, like there's a lot of them who are just like, whoa, what the fuck? And then Oliviette sort of like puts a hand out and like squints at you. And like when you wave, it's this black dragon. She just like, oh no, like gives the thumbs up to the crew, and they sort of like, oh okay, yeah, it's Arjhan. Like they recognize you now that she's sort of like pointed it out more. But yeah, then again, the crew of the apparatus are able to surface as well, and you now have a derelict spelljammer that you can add to your inventory, as well as the crew that you've, or all of the goodies that you found down below.
Well, first we gotta see if we can move it after I turn back.
Yeah, I would think that Oliviette and crew, now that you've like brought up this again, like derelict from the bottom, like however ancient old, they are just like, okay, roping it off. Like we're gonna try and tow this fucking thing.
I mean, the apparatus might be able to like hook onto it
Mm-hmm.
and push it.
Oh yeah,
that's what they're made for, right?
oh yeah, to a degree, but yes. You are able, like, with some conjunction, you will be able to at least carry this ship back with you. Okay. So then on the surface, and I would say that on the ascent back up, Caelum would be able to identify, detect magic, do his things. With the goodies that not only the Bloodlord had gotten, but with all, or I guess with the goodies that the Bloodlord had gotten. You see that he identifies the ring as a ring of shooting stars. The wand that he found is the Wand of the War Mage as a +3 item. And the ancient book. You see that his eyes go wide yet again, and he just puts it into your chest, Cori, and says, we need to figure out a way for you to be able to read this thing. And Cori, he hands you a tome of leadership and influence.
But why wouldn't I be able to read it? Cracks it open in a different language.
All ancient Caedrum language. Like no one on the surface really knows this, and y'all just had a spear who could have helped, but wanted to leave it down below.
Of course there's magics for that sort of thing. My father uses them all the time.
And he nods. It is yours now. Or at least he's given it to you. It's the tome that increases charisma, so handing it to the paladin seemed rather poignant.
Try not to get too excited about that. Very excited about that. Who am I kidding? That's actually very exciting. How much? How much does it... How much?
What mean how much? Oh,
how much
if you finish...
does it improve?
Yeah. If you read it.
If you read the entire thing over the course of a week, and you have to spend a total of 48 hours out of a week actually reading this book, it will increase your charisma by 2. And even if your charisma is at 20, it will raise the cap to 22.
Thank you very much for this wonderful gift.
Thank the tables. I rolled for all of these.
Oh, fate's on my side. Once again.
Thank you, RN Jesus.
He rolled low for our sins. So, Caelum has provided these items, and at that, I think he sort of dismisses himself. He is feeling very tired, very sleepy after all of this, and he is feeling like a nap, for sure. But the rest of you, on the surface once again, you have again gotten this ancient ship, this ye old spelljammer, back from the bottom of the ocean. And you also have a surplus of weapons and other such things that the Bloodlord had been able to snag while inside of the vault.
Were we able to find what we needed?
You were.
Yes. And can you describe the weapon?
Yes. So the weapon that you have been looking for, the weapon that you have been able to actually find, is first and foremost, it is a what is the fucking name? I literally spaced on it. It is a Khopesh. So it is more of a slashing style weapon, but it also has these little metal hooks that seem to go onto the blade itself. From the hilt, it extends upward as a solid piece of metal and then curves out to have, again, more of this kind of bowed blade to it. Now, the things that you would also take note on is that the blade itself is made of a substance that you all would know as Titan steel. This very brilliant silvered metal that has a almost wavy-like texture to it. But rather than having an inlay along the blade, there is a relief that has actually been put into the metal itself to create a more visually stimulating piece of metal. It has a kind of gold fleck that has been painted over it, but you see that it has a series of intercrossing lines, almost like we would recognize as a kind of Celtic knot or a Nordic knot kind of thing, that extends along the actual blade itself. And then upon the handle itself is attached, two attached pieces of wood on either side that are made from what you would recognize as wisteria. And at the bottom, there is a small charm that extends off of it with a small medallion. And from that medallion, there is it's almost like a tabard or a scarf. It is a long flowing piece of fabric that has a more teal color to it. So the overall coloration for this is more of a teal and gold. And it looks incredible for even if this was not to be used as a weapon, this would be an incredible art piece to showcase as well. But you know that ultimately this will be a thing that will house something far greater and far deadlier than the sum of its parts. And that is the look of the weapon. That is the Khopesh.
I'm gonna divine sense it.
Okay. So when you divine sense it, there is nothing. It is empty.
Good.
It is a weapon.
Just making sure
Yeah.
that we don't have to
There's a
perform
dude
an eviction.
in there. His name is Kyle, and he wants out.
I can help you with that, Kyle.
No, thankfully, again, this weapon is exactly what you had been looking for as far as and while Hiram was still there, he had also helped to identify that was to be the weapon for the greatest emperor. Other weapons that you find: spears, other swords. There is a hand and a half sword. There is a short sword, a shield, and a spear as well. And all of these did radiate magic, but they were like Hiram before you found them, where they all just seem to have had their if they were able to speak before that kind of thing, they are currently unable to, and Caelum is going to he's going to spend some time and try and figure out the best way to address those as well. But got some fancy stuff as well as that Khopesh that you were looking for. So all of that has been gathered from the bottom of the sea.
So I believe our next stop was to drop this off with Lady Stonemantle.
Sounds right.
Not the spoils, but the apparatus.
Right.
Because we should probably fulfill that bargain before it gets damaged.
It's mad. It was under the sea for like 500 years.
This was custom built.
The
days ago.
mechanical dragon that you all piloted to the bottom.
I see.
She paid for half of its construction.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant the sword. I was confused. I was like, I think it's fine.
No, we need the sword for worms.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Let's return it. And then we go to the abyss. You're looking at me like I'm wrong, and I don't want to be wrong.
You're right. I just don't want to go.
Oh, okay, good. I mean, it's not good that you don't want to, but I'm glad that I got one right.
I know that you're right. I'm just looking at you because I'm trying to remember exactly why we need to go there, and I don't want to be wrong.
We have to get Kai's true name, and only one creature knows that.
Well,
That's all.
The Chupacabra.
I'm glad that you knew
Marcus.
that, because what I was thinking was not correct. See, that's why we're a team.
Yeah. One of us remembers everything at least once. Like Caelum's middle name.
I'm sorry, my brain's got a little scrambled down there.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
worms.
We've got the long tadpole.
What?
That was the long-term effects of tadpole infestation.
I see.
Oh, yes,
Well,
no, of
if
course.
you guys need to, like, stay
The
awake or
tadpole,
something.
but
Illithid
also
19
for-
is bad.
The Tad Rod. No, I'm gonna workshop it.
Incredible. So, with Alintra Stonemantle, you know that she is. Her home base is on, like, across the sea. If you wanted to hand deliver it to her, you would have to travel quite a significant ways. She is, however, an incredibly powerful wizard. Your best bet would be to let her know, hey, we'll bring it to X place, and then you can pick it up from there. And she would be amenable to that.
I have no way of telling her that, so Caelum will need to arrange that.
Yep. As usual, Caelum plays telephone with everybody that you need to. So yeah, he before he does, he asks where would we want to take this? Like back to the mainland?
Paradise?
Yeah, Paradise is the closest point that you know of. Either that, or there is the small seafaring town of Prospect that is typically used primarily for, like, refuels kind of thing. Entirely up to your group.
I mean, we can drop this thing off wherever, but then we have to. I don't know. I have this thing that I need to put somewhere.
Can't you put it in the bag of holding?
A ship?
I'm sorry, I think you're talking about the sword. You keep motioning behind you, and
I do. The sword's in the bag.
Okay. Just so we're clear. Okay, so we need to get the ship to Paradise or wherever. We'll just dock it there and pay it for it, right? No one knows how to, like, drive it. It's not like someone can steal it, right?
I don't want to leave that to chance.
What you're doing now, Gwen, we call in the Feywild, is tempting chance. And we try not to do that for the most part.
Yeah, chance is a dig.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a benevolent god.
Chance is a greater Fey, actually.
Oh.
I don't want to go into the extended universe where Chance from Homeward Bound is a greater Fey who fucks me over.
Yeah.
That was
He made it back home!
Shadow!
Oh God.
Look, we don't talk about that scene. That one hurts. The rest of the movie's fine.
I do want to call Bridget though.
Yeah.
And see if she wants to. If she wants whatever ship thing we found.
Oh yeah, she would love that. She would be willing to pay a sizable sum as well for access to this if you wanted to sell it to her. Otherwise, if you're just offering to give it to her, she's more than happy to take it off your hands.
Yeah, I am giving her raw materials.
Okay, yeah. And this will, like, all of this is it would happen on your way to wherever you wanted to go for because we do have the fantastical downtime ahead of us. Ooh. So Bridget, through the use of their arcane portals that the Abishai are able to utilize, specifically with Scooter, her cousin who specializes in that sort of thing, is able to take these raw materials, or at least take them off your hands as far as that goes. If you had been wanting to get reimbursed for them, based off of the quality of wood, based off of all of the mechanical benefits and everything as well, they would be able to reimburse you for 50,000 gold pieces.
I mean, I assume it's all in the Tyrant Security account.
Yep.
So
yeah, all of that is going into the account. So everything that you are being reimbursed is going into there, which would again be. Let me just look to make sure. Yeah, it would be 50,000 gold pieces and 25,000 platinum pieces in total.
Wait, are you keeping track of that?
Yes, I have it written down. That's why I had to look at my numbers. So don't worry about that. Just in case you need to access those funds for personal liquidity, you have access.
I assume things are happening with the business that I am completely unaware of.
Sure. So yeah, they manage. All of that will be transferred to your account. They have made good on those payments, so that is no problem there. With that in mind, Caelum would say, like, he seems a little pensive for the most part. Like, there is a little bit of it seems like having allowed Hiram to be deposited near where the subject of his affections were, that Caelum is feeling he's feeling a little tender, and he suggests that unless anyone needs anything else from him, that he would like to spend some time in the Feywild with Diantha.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's cool. You got some time, right?
I mean, I guess our next step is just whenever we make time for it, so.
Yeah, if there's any, and he even suggests if there's any prep or anything like that, that you would all need to do.
Well, I guess we would just need to get home, but I guess I can do the doorknob thing.
Yeah, and again, this is more like after the general things are taken care of. So if y'all need transport home or want to spend extra time on the ship with Oliviette, that kind of thing, however we want to maneuver that, we can figure that out as well. So, for example, the overall trip back, if you stayed on the ship, would take several weeks of travel. So if you just wanted to bamf on back to the mainland, have that not be an issue. There's always Gideon. Caelum would be able to help transport you there. Otherwise, if you did want to spend some time on the ship, a little more time at sea, you can ride back with Oliviette, and then she would meet you She thinks, or she would want to go. I think she would want to go to Shroudport, as that's typically her base of operation.
How long would that take?
It would take several weeks' time. You'd be looking at around 3 weeks in total.
All right.
Or
Well, if Cori,
let me check, because I don't think it took 3 weeks to get there the first time, so I just want to make sure. It would take a allotment of time, let's say.
I mean, it could be different because currents going in different directions and stuff.
Yeah, we'll say that it'll take about 3 weeks. They also don't have their cleric of the open oceans this time around.
But you do have me.
Yes. So yeah, it would take
Cori
a
controls the weather.
Yeah, let me check here.
Hutch controls the weather.
Hutch controls the weather. Saddest throwaway line of that whole movie.
So yeah, it'll take a set of weeks to get back to the mainland if you wanted to stay on the boat.
All right. That sounds like a perfect time for Cori to dig into the meat of that book if we can solve the language barrier, which I have a proposition.
Okay.
As far as how we could do that.
Sure.
And I'm willing to hear other ideas. How much would it cost to get a Helm of Comprehend Languages?
A Helm of Comprehend Languages. Let me check that.
It's an uncommon item.
It's like 5,000.
Yeah, it'd be roughly around 5,000.
Is that within the budget?
Yeah.
Cool. Where would we get that?
Well, you could get that in Shroudport. You have the means of accessing Gideon, so if you wanted to
just
use Gideon...
Bamf over to Shroudport, grab a Helm of Comprehend Languages, bamf on over back to Oliviette's ship.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we can teleport from Shroudport to the ship. Can't put a house on a boat.
We would be using Caelum services for that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I thought we put the boy in the Feywild, but no, we're just landing.
Well, I was gonna bring up the whole helmet thing before when we were talking about numbers, but we moved past shopkeeping and
that's what we're doing.
And figured out how to get rid of the boy.
Okay. Arjhan is just like sitting in a bunk with like glasses at the very end, just like tapping away on a big typewriter, just like putting things on a schedule corkboard behind, and it looks strangely reminiscent of like Tetris.
Then while Arjhan is like figuring out all of these like bookkeeping things, Cori just like So Arjhan, I figured out how we're going to solve this language barrier issue.
Oh yeah, 5,000 gold, that's something. Yeah, we can do it.
Yay!
Just genuine excitement. All right. Cool. Cori's going to read.
Okay. Yeah, it takes the better part of a week, but you are able to really dive into this book. Okay, so Cori, you are...
come in audiobook form.
Sadly not.
What if...
Even with the comprehend languages, you still have dyslexia.
No, it's just I'm imagining the helm is like a pair of AirPods that just turns a book into an audiobook for you.
It's like the AR. It's the AR glasses, and it's doing the Google Translate thing and like trying to tell you what it is.
Like the word changes like 3 times. In the middle of it.
Oh my god.
Okay, so yeah, Cori, you were spending time reading this book. Arjhan, you were spending time doing all of your bookkeeping.
I like once we figure out everything else, I'm gonna chill at home for a bit.
Oh yeah, going back to Verstaine.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So Arjhan, you're going to Verstaine. Cori,
Gwen,
does Gwen want to go to the Feywild?
Gwen's good on the Feywild.
But where do you want to go? do you
I
want
think
to stay
Gwen's
on?
gonna check in on her friend and see what they're doing.
Okay. Are you staying on the boat or are you going?
I mean, I think she
mainland.
would go back to the tribe. If it's gonna
Okay.
be like a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Go back to the tribe for a bit for sure.
Okay.
Sweet.
See your husband.
Husband. Okay. So yeah, Gwen, you go back to the tribe. Arjhan, you go back to Verstaine. Cori, you're spending some time on the ship reading. Caelum is off in the Feywild, which is the perfect time. Gwen, you LB, you had messaged me over the weeks and said that you wanted to do some more Criminal Minds with the Tome of Tharisden that you currently have. So we can definitely get into that. Why not? It's fun, right? Look.
Yeah.
Gwen needs to elf off sometimes too, guys. Jeez. But yes, you are able to do this thing. So one of the things that one of the takeaways that you are getting, like when you open up this book, like, do you do it around Philip? Are you doing it by yourself? Like taking some time, like I need some me time, and then it's you and Tharisden.
Yeah, me time.
Okay. Sounds good. So yeah, you are all by yourself, and by the time that you finally are able to, like when you open up the book again, there are no messages.
Oh.
There's nothing new for you. But as you look in the book and say, with that disappointment, you hear that kind of scritching sound, and the ink shows up, and it just says "Welcome back," and then you see ... and then a parenthesis as they make a little smiley face.
Turns the page. Ah! Hello again. Hey, I had a question for you.
Of course.
So, you said that you wanted stories, but I have had a lot of experience with, like, not great things, and I was wondering what happens when I give you a story. Do, like, I forget it? Or is it, like, does it never happen?
It will happen. It will happen just as you describe it. The
Okay,
stories
see
that
that
you tell me don't have to be just stories of the past. They can be stories of the future.
Really?
Yes,
And you will make them happen?
I can. Go ahead. Try it. What story would you like to tell me?
Okay. So when I put down this book, when we're done talking, should I be more like artistic in my storytelling?
Be as thorough and descriptive as you want to be.
Okay.
I have a vivid imagination.
Okay, all right. So, when the pages of the book close and our conversation has ceased for the evening, next to where I place the book down is a roaring, like a steaming chicken leg, fully cooked and seasoned just like my mom used to make.
Is that all?
Yes.
Then there is you kind of see like as you say yes, there is like a reddish glow that goes over the words about the steaming chicken leg.
Oh, cool. Okay. Well, why don't you let me what are you up to? Where are you now?
I'm where I've always been. In the dream. But
Right.
here we can speak.
Yeah. But like you're like here you're like walking around, right?
I have not been able to walk since before the Great War.
Right, but remember when we met?
Was I walking then?
Well, it kind of seemed like it. You were like we met. So you were in the dream, but like you're in a place still, right? Like when I dream, I'm in places.
Well, I guess then I would have walked, yes.
Cool. What do you see around you?
And they say, I see chains. I see 13 chains.
Okay. Is anything on the chains?
They extend quite a distance. What is attached to these chains is me.
Oh.
My brothers, my sisters, my family, my original family. They were the ones who put them on me.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine what physically being chained up is like, but I kind of get that. I mean, that's kind of like how I grew up.
Really?
Yeah. There was a lot expected of me, but it wasn't what I wanted. So I changed my future, I guess.
And what is it that you want?
To defeat Caius and to live with my tribe and bring them to prosperity and keep all my friends safe.
I see.
What do you want?
I wish to be free of my chains. I wish to be able to tell my brother that I'm fine now, that he doesn't need to worry. But as long as I have these chains about me, I won't be able to. You would know him as Lathander.
Oh boy. Yeah. That's really sucky.
He was the oldest of our family. The strongest, the most wise. He always told me I was the most kind.
Were you?
There are those who would see what I do as a kindness. There are those who would see what I do as horrifying, as painful. I do not remember those things. And I would rightfully like to describe them as that they were not me. They were something else. Before the Great War, there were creatures that exist in the darkness. Creatures that even my brother feared. I saw that they had chosen to commit a purge of their ranks in the desire to create what they would call a shard of ultimate evil. They were going to use that to destroy everything. All of creation. You, me, everything. And I stopped them. And in doing so, I was wounded. And from my wounds, that is where you and others have coined the terms the Abyss.
So you didn't mean to create the Abyss?
No. It was not my intention. My intention was to keep my family safe. To keep all of you safe. And I still can. I have before.
So why did he chain you up if you didn't do it on purpose?
You are a barbarian, correct? You are known to go into bouts of rage.
Yeah.
Have you ever encountered a situation, something that you would describe as seeing red?
Definitely.
When I took the shard, it fundamentally changed who I was, what I was. In that moment, I saw red.
I see.
The creatures that I had taken the shard from, I could see them clear as day. And so I fought them. I did not win. At the moment. But I was able to father enough children that we were able to fight back.
Oh, I see. Okay. So you just want to protect your family?
Yes. And I want to
Children.
tell my brother that I'm fine now. That I don't need to be chained anymore.
I can talk to him. I don't know. I've talked to gods before, in my travels. If I run into him, maybe I'll let him know.
I would warn you. He will not believe you. They may ostracize you. They may chain you just as they have chained me.
I've broken out of chains before, so...
Then
Might
can
be
you help
worth
me? Can you help
Maybe.
me break out of my chains?
Are you in the abyss right now?
I am the abyss.
Right.
The abyss
sorry.
is myself.
So... when you get broken out, does the abyss go away? Or do they all get released, all the demons?
The abyss, as it stands, is infinitesimal. It is without number. So long as I bleed, new layers shall emerge.
Oh, wow.
To free myself, to be truly free,
Yeah.
would put a cap, a finite number of abyssal layers. Layers that my once captor would gladly want to exterminate for themselves. And I would encourage him to do so.
Yeah. Family members are like that, aren't they?
Oh, my captor was not a member of my family.
I thought Lythander was the one who chained you.
Lathander chained me, but Lathander was not my watcher. My watcher was an angel. Was an angel. His name was Asmodeus.
Oh. Okay. So, maybe I talk to Asmodeus and let him know that, but he's not watching you anymore?
Asmodeus failed in his duties, not to keep me watchful, but in realizing that he had other plans. He proved to be an unfaithful guardian.
Wow. Sometimes people get a little too big for their britches. Think that they could do too much.
Agreed.
So you're just chained and alone?
I am. Which is why I enjoy stories. I enjoy hearing about you and your travels. If you
I
continue
like talking to you.
if you continue to provide me stories, I can help see them come true.
That's cool. I appreciate our friendship. I'm glad I can talk to you.
I do as well.
Is there
Remember,
anything else you need?
you can come and talk to me at any time. I'm always here.
Thanks, bud.
You are welcome.
Well, should be hitting the old dusty road. Dream well, my friend.
I always do.
Gwen's gonna close the book.
Okay. You close the book, and as you go to put it onto your nightstand, there's a scent that wafts through the outside of your tent that seems to get closer. The tent flap opens, and it is Philip, holding a piece of chicken, like a drumstick style, upon a plate.
Oh.
And
Where'd you get that?
Philip explains that he was hit with an inspiration that he would show the Goliaths halfling cooking. He was tired of the very dense, very starch-heavy diet that the Goliaths are known for, and he wanted to teach them what spices were and how to use things like rosemary. And the only chicken recipe that he knew of that he would want to show, especially as a surprise to you, is your mother's. And he sets it down onto the nightstand next to the book.
Holy hells. Thank you, Philip.
And he nods and says, "Don't worry about it," gives you a kiss on the cheek. And then he asks you to fill him in about all of your adventures. He's so excited. He's missed you terribly.
Oh, yes. She will fill him in, eyeing the chicken suspiciously for a little bit, and then, like, poking it, and then digging in.
And he, like, when you're poking at it, he sort of, like, almost looks offended and, like, hand on his chest, like, "I cooked it thoroughly. Like, this
No,
one
no,
I
no.
made."
I know. It's so uncanny how it appeared to me. I was just thinking about Mom's chicken, you know?
Oh, you must have smelt it.
Probably, huh? Yeah. She'll eat it.
Okay. It's delicious. It tastes exactly like your mom would have made it.
My mother made very dry chicken.
It is exactly
Oh,
as
God.
your mom would
That's
have
on
made
the
it.
internet. No. It's great. It's great.
Your in-game mom made
Yes.
very.
Oh, yeah.
Sigourney. Your tribe mom. She was the one who made the dry chicken.
Oh boy.
And
Let's not
Gwen,
talk about it.
as you experience the delicious repercussions of having dabbled in Tharisdin's Black Book, that is where we are going to go onto our break for the evening. So we're going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Don't go no place unless it's to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, pick yourself up something nice, and we'll see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. See you soon. And we did it. We're back. Huh.
Welcome to the Salty Splatoon. How tough are you?
How tough am I? I ate a bowl of nails for breakfast without any milk.
Oh, go right ahead.
It's
Also, RJ loves you all.
We love you too, RJ. That's so high quality from your camera. The lighting is really good on it.
It's really close.
I love it.
Rolled on my notes.
Look, now you'll always remember this session.
Oh my god.
I was
The picture was
That's
crisp
so
because
much better than
it
the
was
one I
literally
had.
an inch away from the amiibo.
so good though. Oh my
Like,
god.
It's this small.
So small.
Anyway, Splatoon 3 is good.
Okay, before we, this is more of like a Knights in the Courtyard, but as part of the break bit. If I've never played Splatoon, would I enjoy it?
It depends on how you feel about competitive shooters.
Okay, so I'd probably enjoy it. Anyway, back to the game. We can
Oh
talk
my
more about
God.
Splatoon later. But when we last left off, Gwen, you had just gotten done tempting some fate, talking with Tharsden, and as a result, you got some lore. Most importantly, you got some chicken. You got some really good chicken.
Good
Oh,
chicken.
yeah. No, you got some good chicken. So that is great. That's looking fun. It's looking fresh, looking tasty. So that's always a plus. Arjhan, you are in the process of doing paperwork over in Verstein. Unless you wanted to do
have
anything
a
else.
project.
Okay.
So, in the like months that we've had downtime, I've been pretty much just like letting Rin have full like whatever city planning, and I've
Yep.
been injecting money into like, if you want to start up a business, here's like a pretty big subsidy or
Yeah.
whatever. One of the longer term projects that I wanted to be able to do is there a way that with whatever energy in the tower and Tiamat's blessing or whatever, or just buying the necessary components, would I be able to cast or have the effect of a 7th level spell from an area in the thing, specifically regeneration?
I would say...
If I need to get the equivalent like spell scroll, one of the things that you gave us was a very rare item. I could cash that in.
Yeah, I would
for
say...
whatever components.
Yeah. I would say that you would be able to get... and because you want it to be a recurring thing. Like a chamber of regeneration, like you go in there, sit for a little bit, or like...
This could be a
Okay.
one-time thing.
Yeah,
like-
I would say...
If we were using the Matt Colville Stronghold rules like those in a Druid Grove, maybe like a seasonal thing.
Okay.
But like it would still need to cost money or
Yeah.
whatever.
I would say that it would cost, in order to get this set up, it would cost half of the price of a regular spell scroll for regeneration, because you've already sunk so much in terms of funding into the city itself. So as far as price point goes, getting everything set up again would be half, and then that would be set up as a recurring thing. Yeah.
Okay. I need to look something up. But what I want to get built is a bathhouse.
Okay. Yeah. No, everyone is very on board for a bathhouse.
Would it be ready by the time we get back and we have this downtime?
I would say yeah. I would say it would be ready by the time that you guys got back, especially if you had started it before doing all of this extra shit. Yeah, it definitely would be ready.
All right. Cool. Okay, so very rare would be 50,000 gold.
Okay.
Gold pieces. Half for a consumable would be 25,000 gold pieces. Half because you're having the magic item would be 12, 13,000.
Mm-hmm. You can do 12, round down. Yeah, by the time that you get back, a bathhouse would be ready to go. I would say that, like, with the bathhouse, because even though there is a forest nearby and you could be using it for that, Kendek has, because the forge that he had been using did have that, like, layer of, like, there's like a magma vein or a vent that's nearby, and he's kind of able to help reroute some of the piping to kind of use that natural gas to create more of that hot springs as well. And then adding in the regenerative properties.
I just want to
Okay.
set up like a instead of like a like Greco-Roman bathhouse, it's just like a day spa kind of thing where it's
Okay.
just like rocks and like every so and so around the edge or like sticking out the water. There's like some arcane crystals that are just like in the water.
Yeah.
And normally it's just like same actual benefit of bathing with crystals.
Mm-hmm. Every once in a while. But yeah.
But every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this is a big, like, it was a sizable project to start. However, now that it has gotten off the ground, as far as most people go, because again, like, you are primarily in more of like a countryside, you're at the base of a mountain, you don't really have a whole lot of neighbors who aren't just like guy who lives in the woods with small family in their barn, and every like half a year they go into town kind of thing. Word has gotten out that there is a hot spring that isn't in one of the main large cities. And so they have actually, like, you were seeing a lot more foot traffic coming to Verstaine because you have this hot spring available. Yeah, people are flocking to it. They seem really keen. And is part of the spa. Fiorette and Winty have set up their shop relatively nearby to kind of get like, oh, you just had an enjoyable spa. Do you want some fresh baked bread? Like, everything is very fresh, very relaxing. It seems very enjoyable here. And even though there are some concerns about Ren as a person, it turns out that the one thing that they are very good at is city planning and getting the word out.
Yeah, like the whole neighborhood's walkable. Like it's
the whole neighborhood's walkable. Like they have used local druids to help get the trees to kind of grow up to create more of a natural shade for the roadways. It's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous as a place. And like Levi said, just look, the hot spring is nice, but you gotta get the bread. You should see this place in the springtime. Boy howdy, it's gonna be nice. But yeah, it's up and kicking. So by the time that you actually arrive there, you've watched this go from a tower that you killed some shit in to now there's an actual town that's here. There are people here. There's commerce. There are individuals who are staking their claim out near Verstaine. It seems like this is going to be it'll be popular. It already is popular, but noted primarily for its amenities as well as its more secure location. This seems like it's almost being pitched as like a nice weekend getaway. If you're able to make it there for a weekend, most people can't, so they stay longer, which is only better for business.
It's the equivalent of Branson.
Yeah. So yeah, you have created this very nice spa town.
I want to go to Arask.
Okay. Yeah, you can take Gideon. You got the key. And Arask, when you arrive again, he doesn't really want to, from what the kobolds have told you, he has sort of been more secluded as time has gone on and really trying to focus on returning to the sense of nature that he had before, but it has been proven very difficult to do so. And he is definitely even when they say, oh, like, Arjhan is here to see you, he does let you in, and he is willing to parlay with you, to meet with you. But you can tell that, like, there is a chip on his shoulder that was not there the very first time that you met Arask. But seeing you, he says, "It's good to see you again. Looking healthy. That's good. How are things with your dragon forge? The elves have told me."
That's what my friend named it, but it's more of just his forge, like for weapons, like swords and stuff. Like, do you? What?
I'm not exactly sure what's going on over there. I'm going to be quite honest. I have agents that are on the mainland, but
What's been going on here? You don't seen
everything
yourself.
is fine. It's rather hard to... How do I put this? I have been alive now for well over 1,000 years. During my time, I was known as the Bronze Baron, the Eternal Gardener. And in the last not even 2 years, I have had my ability to fly taken from me. I've had my gardens destroyed and sullied, and I had temporarily lost control of this place, my home. There is a lot that goes on internally that I don't... Old habits. Others might call it turtling. Tucking away from society for creatures such as myself. It can be a period of years that I can do this. I'm not proud of it, but it is something that happens, I would say.
I certainly understand. You should take a moment, all of you.
It's just difficult to find that moment when you are a safe harbor and need to control the weather for the commerce of an entire countryside. It's not all it's cracked up to be. And before, I was able to put up with it because I had my space, I had my things, I had my plants. And when the Keshin came, they took that from me. And I can, obviously, I can get those plants back. I can see to it that the fields are back the way that they should be, but it won't be the same. Some of these flowers were not ones that I planted. They were reminders of my friends. But that wasn't your question. I'm sorry.
Would you like a change in scenery just for a few hours?
And what do you have in mind?
I would like to show you my home. The home that I've made.
And Arask will sort of look at you, and he doesn't really know how to take that, but then you see that there is that moment of just like a deep breath, an exhale.
I know that my appearance doesn't make you want to trust me.
You have proven to me time and again that you are trustworthy. Your appearance, don't take this the wrong way, means nothing to me at this point in time.
It's always that undertone.
Should anything happen to my island while I am away, may I call upon you and your friends for assistance?
Like within the next hour.
I don't know. Wizards can do some crazy things.
Sure. I mean, you may know before I do.
Nods. And that just kind of says that they're willing to go.
Yeah. So we'll bamf over to first thing.
Yeah,
I will walk him around town. We will avoid Ren.
Safe play.
Ren will not make an appearance.
Safe bet. Yeah.
And walk through all the neighborhoods. He will see the tower. He will not go in it. We will walk by the Dragon Forge itself. We will probably not do a lot there. And then we are going to go to the bathhouse.
Okay. Yeah, and as you are walking, you can see that Arask, even before he became a recluse, didn't really go out much. Like, even like he did in his own town, he was able to like change his shape and go about, but seeing someplace new, a city that you've never been to, being alive with its own intricacies, with its own modes of passage, he seems like he is just sort of standing, like as he's standing, he's sort of taking it in, and he looks at you, and there is a quiet nod of not acceptance, but affirmation. Like, he sees the way that this place has been laid out, and he's like,
I don't intend to make an Isle of Arask or anything like that. I just wanted a haven, and this is the one that I found.
this is a good place.
And then, bathhouse.
Yeah.
And Arjhan's gonna what do we think the activation mechanism is?
Do you want it to be like a neat looking statue? Do you want it to be a command word kind of thing that will activate the crystals? Like, are you thinking more like a mechanical mechanism or more of a mystical mechanism?
Something more arcane.
Okay. So for arcane, let's see.
Or, I don't know. I feel like this is coming from whatever force the Horde itself is channeling. It's tapping into that.
Okay. I would say that for that, there is a...
It's a wishing thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say it was like either like a bank or like something that you put funds into. But yeah, having it be a wishing well, I think, is even better.
Yeah. So.
And yeah, as you do that, Arathsk is in the water.
Yeah. So I will give him a platinum piece from my hoard. And I'll let him know. I'm not sure how long it will be until we can make use of this again. But I may be able to help with one of your problems.
And he just sort of kind of slowly nods and like looks at the coin, looks at you, and just
if you take your true form and wish for regeneration, this should theoretically be able to do so. And Arjhan will remove himself from the water.
Yeah, Arathsk. I think like it's a scene where Arjhan, as you're leaving, as the camera stays, you see like Arjhan walk towards it, and there is just Arathsk like looking at this coin, standing in the water. The door closes, and you just hear the sound of like water displacing as he takes his true form, and just lets himself steep in the water. But...
And that's it for Arjhan's downtime.
Okay. Sounds good. Cori, it took you the better part of a week with this Helm of Comprehend Languages. But you know, you learned a lot about what it really means to be a leader, and that's the important part. Like, the inspiring speeches, it's one of those, like, when you think about like Marvel heroes, how they always have the quip or the rousing speech, or there's always like some guy that has like that like the quick comment. This is basically like a cheat book on how to unlock all of those things and become more charismatic. And it's not written by somebody who knows how to write for books. It's written by somebody who knows how to write for an inspiring speech. So there's a lot of like flouncy language and like really like, yeah, let's go. And you feel inspired to read it, but then it's just so fucking dry. And it almost makes you want to not read it. That is the purpose of these books, is to make it difficult. But by the time that you are finished, your charisma has gained that +2.
Huzzah!
Which brings your total to 22?
Yeah. I've already updated the layout.
Nice. But yeah, and
It's all for me.
like Olivia the entire time is also like, she'll bring you snacks, she'll rub your shoulders, she'll like
Aw.
make sure that like here, like she offers you a small bowl of almonds and says that she got a really good deal on these a while back. And they taste okay.
These almonds, all right.
They don't keep
Why?
as long as you would think.
Why do I feel intense disappointment?
She like sort of like takes it a little personally, and then like eats some, and then it's just like, oh no, like I also taste it. Like there's something strange about these.
It's not you, love. Almonds just sort of put a strange taste in my mouth. I'm sure it'll come to me. I think that it's a situation where, like, you know, like the information is good, like the book is good, like it's written like one of those inspiring speeches. I think that Cori literally has to does that thing where you start and stop like the same paragraph over and over again because it's written in a run-on sentence, and they've spent like maybe 2 pages now describing a button, Lord of the Rings.
It's a quality button.
I think that the way that Cori breaks through this barrier is by literally just reading it out loud. Just like standing and like pacing around the room, book open, helmet on, reading it aloud.
Yeah, and the people who overhear it, they aren't like, "Oh man, you're reading a book out loud." No, like they feel generally roused. They're here for this.
Incredible. All right. So yeah, Cori spends the better part of that week doing that. Unless they are contacted by anybody. It's just fun boat times with Oliviette.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, fun boat times with Oliviette. Totally great.
Casting control winds to like speed us along whenever it's needed. Fighting pirates.
As you do.
Communing with nature.
Yeah. You end up like along your way, you do see like there's like one more Stormcrow ship that you encounter, and like when they see your ship, there's definitely the like eyes turn to like gold coins as they're like, ooh, there's like a giant metal thing, and then a derelict ship, like, or like giant metal thing, we're definitely gonna get that. And then you have fun swashbuckly times of just fighting ne'er-do-well pirates, being able to take care of that again without issue. Their CR is not high enough as they are currently to face off against Oliviette and you and the rest of the crew as well.
Hold on, let me just imagine it in my head really quick. Oh yeah, that's good.
Yep. There's a lot of have at ye's and avast me hearties that are going on.
Mid-fight kissing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, and like the Stormcrow ship is like burning in the background. It's very cinematic, very fun.
Pirates of the Caribbean really did a number on my psyche.
Oh yeah.
It's good stuff. I mean, what's that?
I was gonna say it's like AC Black Flag. There's a cheat code to make everybody actually talk like pirates. It's just that.
Incredible.
I can't miss Talk Like a Pirate Day again. Can't do it.
I don't even remember when that was.
It's like November?
It's sometime in the near future. Anyways. So yeah, I would say
it's legitimately next Monday.
Oh, well, shit. Avast me hearties.
I'm not ready.
Does that mean that we have to do an entire 4 keeps in Pirates?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Put us back on the ship, Indoor.
Look,
Put
we're
us
doing
back
a one
on the
shot.
fucking ship.
Or yeah, look,
I'm going to need a perception check.
I just gave Bridget a Spelljammer.
Hey. Look, all I'm saying is if we can't string it for the rest of the one shot, we can for sure get it as a one shot. We'll get it. Well, it's fine.
We will discuss this.
We'll talk about it. Look, it's either going to be a musical episode or a pirate episode, and pirate episode's easier to do with improv. So
I wasn't prepared for this day, but here we are.
You know what's better than going to the abyss? Going into the abyssal space.
Abyssal space. Wild space. So, over the next several weeks, as you are all getting to Shroudport or taking some time, are there any preparations for traveling to the abyss that you would like to have? I would also like to make note that Arjhan, you had been told by Off Constantly that once they gathered the information about Orcus, about as much as they could anyways, by speaking with the various sanguine orders, that they would let you know So that way, when you were ready, you could ask them to just send a courier. They would send effectively like a dossier back to you.
And yeah, I would let them know whenever I was going to get to Versailles.
Okay, yeah. So first things first. After you leave Arathsk, you know when he is done at the pools because there is a happy roar, like an exclamation that seems to have come from it. And it looks like the healing properties have managed to fix him wingies. He turns back into a regular person, into his more human form, and is like, he's gonna spend some time in town. He's having a good time with this. You catch him like cheerily eating bread that he bought, and he's like, it's like Scrooge after he gets visits from all three ghosts, where like he's like on board to just be super happy with everybody in town. And at one point you see like Ren like clocks him, goes to go, and like Kendek like pulls him back like, no, no, definitely not right now. But Arathsk is very thankful for this and says that he will spread the word that this is a sanctuary.
Now, I could bring you back, but would you? I don't know if you would prefer to take the long way this time.
And he smiles, which for Arathsk has been a very rare thing. And he says, I think stretching my wings will do me some good. But he does not drag himself in the middle of town. He will exit town, and then you see that he, like later on, you'll hear about people coming in being like, I saw the wildest thing sailing through the sky.
A dragon. I saw a dragon.
Mm-hmm. And then, like, of course, like, one of the parents that's escorting the kid in is just like, of course you did. That's why we're here at this town. There are dragon people that are here. And, like, no, a real dragon. And, like, there is that general communique as well. Furthermore, with Arjhan, you would receive during one of your long rests, you would receive it's very weird because you were asleep, but it is still a incoming message, but not in a sending style. It is very reminiscent of the dreams that you would once shared with Makoth that no longer or that had ceased at a certain point, but it seems like there is a would you like to receive this message effectively or essentially. You're still sleeping. This will be part of the regular sleep cycle, but she does ask if you would like to speak momentarily.
What is it? Are you in a place where you're ready to receive bad news? Are you in a place where you're able to receive anything? I guess.
Okay. And Makoth, when you meet her, she is now wearing the clothing of the Keeper. The Keeper, of course, being the Lord Keeper of Shroudport that Makoth became after the whole Kaya situation went down several bits ago. She seems happy. She seems healthy. And she offers you a seat or to play some dragon chess while you catch up. And she lets you know that she had a visitor. A visitor that she did not expect to see for a while, if ever again. The individual that had been known as Matea had actually stopped by to visit. And she explains that when Matea met her, she informed Makoth of what had of essentially that she was trying to make good on a promise to a friend. And she offered Makoth a means of exiting her pact that had caused her to become a warlock in the first place. This would have been a no strings attached, sever the ties, and Makoth, after her many years of having been indebted to a being that did not care for her and she did not care for, she turned down the offer. She turned it down because she has survived and become this way long enough that this is a part of her. She expresses that Matea was not necessarily pleased about the news. It seems as though that they are an individual who is not used to people telling them no, especially when they are trying to dole out gifts. But she thought that it was interesting because after she expressed that she was fine being the way that she was, that the individual left and thanked her for her time. And she asks if you know anything about that.
I'll explain T-Mats and I and my relationship so far. But the way Arjhan is reading that situation, I have no idea why Matea is showing up. Everything about that just seems off and weird.
Okay. Yeah, and Makoth agrees that it did seem very strange. And it seems stranger now that you have expressed, or at least like filled her in on all of the backstory that she was not privy to before. But yeah, she just kind of wanted to let you know, drop in, tell you that things in Shroudport are doing well, that they're recovering. And once the Dragon Chess game finishes, she'll ask how you're doing.
I'm tired, my God. But the end is in sight. We've been time displaced and thrown through the abyss, or through the astral sea. We've been shunted through hell. We just came back from the bottom of the sea. And we just need one more thing before we can make sure that what happened to Shroudport will never happen again. Anyway.
And she nods and says, "You've come a long way from visiting me in my tiny hole-in-the-wall shop. you didn't have as much direction. And even if you don't think that you have as much direction now, I've heard good things. I've heard the rumblings. You're doing good work, and you're keeping people safe in ways that I think the realms need, more so than anything. Not just because of the big, massive worms in the sky that you have planned for, but they need to know that there are still people that will think of them. And I think that that's what they see in you. Someone who's thoughtful. I'm sorry for taking up your time, because I know how difficult it can be to get a good night's rest in. If you need anything, you know where to find me. And I would hope that you would call on me as a friend.
Whenever your duties give you some time, make a visit first thing.
She nods. Says, I'll take you up on that. Once, the worms situation and the town is back together, I think I'd like that. And she offers to play another game. If you do, after that, the dream will end. If you don't, the dream will end. Either way. Yeah. The second thing that happens over the break while Cori is making her way back to the mainland, you receive it is a summons. It's more of a heavily implied summons from Tiamat to figure out the Tylera situation, to better express it as she wishes, to at least give that more of a personal tone rather than sending things through messengers.
Okay.
Yeah. And when you arrive and are able to speak with her, she, as she had stated earlier through a messenger, they are still figuring out what exactly to do with Tylera. Tylera had expressed that she was aware of a set of eggs that could be used for a similar process like what had happened for young Arjhan, where it was a yield dragon egg that then got turned into a boy. Tiamat explains, having spoken with Tylera as well as conferred with the draconic spirits whose eggs those would have been, that they have a means to make it easier, in a sense. The people that she sees on the mainland, they don't want the return of the dragons in the same way that cultists of Tiamat want the return of dragons. And she's seen that, again, through Tyrant Security, through the acts of the Four Keeps, through the songs that are being sung for the praise of dragons. And she feels like this would be a better opportunity to effectively refresh the brand for what she has going on. She believes, well, Tylera has a brief understanding of where these eggs would be, like a generalized location. And if, from Tiamat's standpoint, if they are able to return one, as these eggs are very similar to a Rathsk, or not a Rathsk, to Tarlayan, where they are not, they were going to be used for a kind of reincarnation. Magic broke. Things did not go according to plan. They have sort of just been left and almost returned, and almost turned into a stone of sorts. But if Tiamat is, or if Tylera is telling the truth about their location, return one and then see about awakening it into a draconian, into something closer aligned to you. The reason why it was not as kosher the first time around, mostly because Tylera didn't know anything about the process. This time around, they have spoken to Martinariandor and Titanian Sardiris, the two black dragons who these eggs would belong to. They were twin black dragons that, should they want to do this process again, that they have the that there is consent from all parties on this.
So then, okay. So the eggs that you just so happen to know about are not actually eggs. They're clone babies. They're broken clone babies.
Yes.
That are not viable to become dragons.
They cannot become full dragons, no.
Do I believe them?
You can make an insight check. And this is coming from Tiamat as to this. This is what Tiamat has gathered from Tylera anyways.
What Arjhan is trying to perceive is if they're trying to convince him to be okay with something that they have already done.
Yeah.
He did not roll very well.
I think there is like that building, like, oh God, are you just telling me this so that way if I say yeah, you can be like, all right, cool, it's already done. Like there is that building sensation that comes with it. And I think that seeing that, Tiamat would offer to introduce you to the dragons that would then be joining you effectively on the material plane for when they are ready or old enough to join.
Are they going to be reincarnated, or
they will?
Because Tarlayan is not.
Yes, these creatures will effectively be reincarnated, but they will be borderline clean slate. They will have their ancestry tied to them. They will have some of the abilities that they had in their draconic prowess still tied to them as well. They will have things still about them, such as a love of the queen, that sort of thing.
Are these souls going to disappear, or are they consenting to give up the bodies that they had left over?
I would say for this, they are consenting to let the bodies that they would have had go for it. They would like to, as they would see themselves as borderline parents and would like to be involved in some way. But as far as like, we will raise you down here in the hells is like these guardians kind of thing. Like, that is not what is currently on the docket for them.
And nobody's going to be stabbing these babies to release
No.
the old dragons.
No.
Fine.
Okay. Yeah, so Tiamat then thanks you for assisting in the matter. And she will send out a party of Abishai to hopefully collect the first egg, if it is indeed where Tylera had mentioned that it was. And if it ends up being the case and it works, they'll do it a second time, and we'll consider how to best address Tylera's sentencing at that point, if they need to rethink whether they are going to be punishing her or promoting her to some degree. They are unsure.
May I speak with you for a moment?
She nods. To Tylera or Tiamat?
Tiamat.
Okay, yeah, Tiamat. She is ready and available for conversation.
Your Grace, why did Mateo reach out to McCarth?
And there is a pause. And they say, as you were speaking to the one who is Minnie at this point, and they say, you had given us conversation that was meant for reflection. One of the things that you had mentioned was that we had wronged those and threatened those and made individuals who were close to you feel threatened, held up, that to a degree. The one known as McCoth has long since suffered with an affliction of the conditions of her warlocked pact. We would like to show you that we have changed, that we are capable of change. While McCoth did not accept our generous help, we would like to begin the process of attempting to be better.
Generally, whenever trying to show someone that you wronged them, that you are trying to make up for it, the first step is acknowledging to that person what you did that you would like to make up for. If I remember right, whenever you first approached McCarth, you approached her with this same offer as a threat. perhaps acknowledging that and expressing your regret would be better than repeating the offer.
There is a nod from Tiamat. She seems to be understanding as to the direction that you were giving her.
Teach God how to say sorry.
And
that could be taken out of context.
And she says, I do not feel as though if I were to approach her an additional time, that I would be able to express this without it coming off as a something forced, which I understand is not the way that one admits to their shortcomings.
And wait until it feels genuine.
And she nods again. Yep. She's trying her best to learn humility, but it's very difficult when you are revered as a god by so many. But she's trying. And that's the part that counts. To a degree. Is there anything else that Arjhan would like to bring up to Tiamat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know your plan is to have more draconians. That you see a future in that. But I have to say, taking a facsimile of a true draconic form felt right. I know that's not the future that you seek, but
when you eventually, in the long, hopefully, long time from now, choose to reside here on a more permanent basis, should you so choose, that would be your true form. There are And she looks like she's having difficulty even trying to bridge that as a subject. And says, there are, as you've encountered, means and methods that would allow you to take advantage of your full draconic prowess. There are those who would have it alter them. But you are not this way. In your draconic state, when you became a full creature, a full dragon, that was, in a way, what you were always meant to be. You are my child just as all others are. And my children deserve greatness. I do not believe that had you been born as a fully fledged dragon, as you were able to take the form of, that we would be having this conversation as we are now. But I can assist.
What I mean to get at is, my discomfort with making more draconians. It's making more of things like me that always feel wrong. And I don't know if that was the environment that I was raised in or the actual physical not being what I was supposed to be. But I don't want to subject anyone else to that.
Of course. I will not sugarcoat that in your creation, Tylera was refining the process and did things in a way that left gaps and questions. And until we were able to speak with her, you were not the only one who had questions. And speaking with her brings even more questions yet, but that is another matter. Were you to have been born in the way that you were, but under the roof of my house, I would have done well to make this your home. and that may not have solved or assisted in any of the pain, the questioning, the issues that you encountered. But you would have known what it would have been like to be understood by those around you. When Tylera is able to do this, and she will, and she says that with more of like a she better kind of verbiage. When she is able to do this, they will need a mentor. They will need someone to guide them. And if you are able, I would ask that you act temporarily, if you are able, as a father. Show them what it means to be a draconian, so they are not raised with these questions, or with a lack of feeling as if they are outsiders.
Then I guess you better make sure that I get back from this.
She nods. She says, as long as I have blessings to give, I will ensure that every utterance from my 5 mouths gives you a word of safety.
Arjhan will do a little while.
And Tiamat will, when, like, after you bow and you look up and she just has, like, her head hung a little bit and then, like, raises it up. It seems as though she was bowing to you as well.
Mm-hmm. That's a little weird.
She just asked you to be a dad.
Arjhan doesn't know how to feel about that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Nice in the courtyard.
Sounds good. Okay, so Arjhan, that was your time over the break. Gwen, like you specified, you were spending time with the Goliaths, hanging out with Philip, eating Tharsden chicken. It's been a great time. When you furthermore, Gwen, when you had expressed to Tharsden that you were looking for a place to set up the tribe as a place of to have a spot of protection, or to have a more centralized kind of space, so that way, you know, they could all be taken care of. You have a large population that they're dealing with. The Goliath scouts actually come back several days later and inform you that they have found a place that they think will be able to house the tribe.
Oh, really? Whereabouts?
They express that they had been thinking essentially too small, and that the different keeps that had been presented, the ones that no longer had names, one where you had rescued or attempted to rescue a Caelum from, they didn't know which one to have as the center base. But what they realized now was that if they connected each of these keeps with a wall of sorts, that they could turn the inside area as its own separate city-state.
And you think it'll house all of us and room to grow?
They nod. And they say that at the center of it, they have found the perfect place to build the Chieftain's Lodge.
An important spot, but, you know, everyone needs a place of comfort, of course. Why don't we go check it out?
Okay.
Is it far?
It is. It's the better part of a week's ride, but yeah, Gwen, you are able to get out there as well, and upon arrival, you see the spot that they have designated that they think would be the best place for this Chieftain's Lodge, as they described it. And the strangest part to you, Gwen, is that you've traveled along these lanes before. You scouted around for Caelum in these lanes before. You've sent people out. Like, there's been a general understanding of the layout. And what you see is that there is a massive hill that seems to have jutted up from the base of the earth to a reasonable height. You're looking at maybe about like 75 feet up from where regular ground level would be. But the thing that is most telling to you is that there seems to be a natural incline that starts at the base of this hill that wraps around its side in a left-style turn that seems to spiral all the way to the top.
Elizabeth just kissed you on the screen. She didn't know you need to know that.
Good. I love kitty kisses.
Oh, shit. No, this is perfect. I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, and they, there seems, Gwen, it's very strange, because you would expect the Goliaths to also say that they have never seen this place. But it seems as if there is, like, a general haze where, like, they just sort of, like, have this understanding where it's like, yeah, we don't remember seeing it here either, but I kind of remember it always being here. Like, they don't have the best handling as to the history of this hill's existence.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, no, this place looks great. And we could have, like, little shops and villages. We could really make this place our own.
Yeah. And Gwen, as you, like, get to the top of the hill, and you can pull out a spyglass, and from the top you can see off in the distance, there are these 5 different castles / keeps / ruins that had all been placed around here in this area. And it seems like at the center of it all is this spiraled hill.
Shit, this is perfect. Okay. I think we found our spot, guys. Good job.
And the Goliaths all nod. And Gwen, when you return, it is very easy to convince the tribe that it is time to move. It is time that you finally put down roots. And at the center of it will be that spiraled hill. And as you make this decision, and the Goliath tribe all agrees as to this, there is a brief moment where you can feel that there is a dampness on your face. That's almost as if you were crying, and it is coming from the left side. And as you touch it, there is blood that is coming out of the eye that was once Talos's. And as you check on this blood on your hand, that is where we are going to call it for tonight's session. So I'd like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by and join us for this wonderful game of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm having a great time. I'm having a blast with all of my friends. What does it mean? You can only find out if you join us for next time when we go for Keeps Part 2, The Abyss. So, think about that. It's going to be a good time. But I always have a great time whenever these folks are on the channel. Hey, LB, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi, I'm LBHackEmUp. You can find me at LBHackEmUp on the Twitters and the Twitches. Next time I'm going to live is probably tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock on LBHackEmUp. I'm going to be playing some more Dead by Daylight because Whisker just came out. New Resident Evil stuff. Yeah, I wasn't able to play it last week, but I'm able to play it this week. I'm excited. So we're going to get into that stuff. And check out my Twitter for all of my updates. We are starting our Rod of 7 Parts Season 2, March of the Modron, which we have already done on this channel, which it was years ago. I don't remember it, but Siren's going to go through that. And with her mother's history of Asuran, aka 4, it's going to be a time. So I'm excited for that. So, but yeah, that's me. Check things out. Check everyone on this channel out because they're awesome. DanaeKeener.com.
Oi, I'm Cyber. You can find me at Cyber1201 on Twitch. Sometimes I haven't been on for the last couple of weeks because I've been feeling like shit. Won't be there this week because I'm going out of town. But I know that I will be there every Saturday in October because we're celebrating Spooky Month by getting witchy and just playing Bayonetta 1 and 2. That's it. I love those games. They're great. You can also find me here on Mondays. And perhaps maybe just as a suggestion, you pay attention to High Shelf Collective in the coming months. For no reason in particular. DanaeKeener.com.
Speaking of DanaeKeener.com, hi everybody, I'm Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings mostly related to D&D and a lot of things on this channel. You can also find me at Danae Keener on Twitter. I got a pinned tweet there. You can see my schedule and all of the streams that I'm in. So go and check it out, DanaeKeener.com.
And if you've made it all this way, you probably already know who I am, but if you don't, hey Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this on Monday, Thursday, and Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am so happy that I have that time slot back. You guys have no idea, but I'm happy it's back. We're happy it's back. It's a great time. And you want to know where else is a great time? If you go to youtube.com/Indoor Adventures, you can check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, or you can go towards anywhere audio casts are being made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. But speaking of things that are being made available for free, we are going to be going into our Patreon-supported after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions for myself or any of these other fine folk, feel free to join us on our Discord. The link can be found in the Twitch chat off to the side or in the video description of this video or audio cast down below. But with that, I would like to say once again, thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by and join us. Thank you to each of these players for putting up with my bullshit once again this week. And we'll see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye!